Yeah, he was coming right towards me.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do?
I only had one choice, man.
Oh, no.
I mean, I didn't want to do it, but... Oh, okay. All right, we're rolling here. Let's take a look at a championship celebration. Roll it, chicken.
The final second, the Chicago Bulls have won the 95-96 NBA championship.
This clip is surely iconic. Come on, MJ. It's his first ring since his dad died.
I know he's watching.
And it's on Father's Day. This is Father's Day. And we have this moment here on the ground, 100% authentic and vulnerable. It's almost unhuman to not feel for this man right now, to not sympathize or even empathize with this real life person with real relatable feelings.
An emotional moment.
It's not the MJ we always get, but right there, that's what we're looking at.
What it symbolizes, which is my father on Father's Day, it means a big deal to me.
But that's not what we're here for today. Roll it back. Okay, you see anything odd here? Is there anything strange about this sequence of events? Okay, in the most favorable light, I guess folks might be able to see this as a quick hug, just at a glance. Maybe people saw it as a pile-on celebration moment, you know, when people jump onto the person. But how does MJ end up in an embrace with Rodney Brown? Usually the main player would go run to the other main player or the coach for their embrace, not the first-year role player. The reason is, well, because championship celebrations don't always go perfectly for the star player. For example, 2016, LeBron is accosted by Kevin Love for the post-buzzer hug.
It's over.
Now this moment right here, this moment is perfect. It's a perfect storybook ending for one of these two men. One of these two men struggled to find his role on this team. He was an outcast. He never found his way to fitting in. And in this moment, he found his acceptance. And the other guy is thinking, this dude was just closest, and I still need to get my iconic championship moment, which LeBron does a few moments later when he goes to the ground here. But the media and the storytellers, they said no. They decided that LeBron's golden moment was going to be this moment, the hug, the awkward hug. This Kevin Love hug is your moment, so deal with it. That's how championship celebrations go. Especially since we're all dying for something to replace the crying Jordan, but it turns out nothing can replace a sweaty, shiny, red-eyed, emotional MJ. But that's clearly not what's happening here. It's not a pile-on. In reality, first time I saw this little brotherly tussle right here, I thought, what's going on? Is this real? Is this playful? And then I finally landed on, what are you doing, man? Just give up. Let the man have his ball. Give the man his rightful property. But why? Why? Maybe we should start a tradition where we give all the non-trophy stuff, including the ball, to a player who would probably never win an individual award.
Basically some charity pity deal, or just leave it to natural selection. Because
it's historically a free-for-all. I mean, in a lot of cases, somebody tends to launch the ball as high as humanly possible anyway. And after that toss moment, that's fair game for anyone. Whoever has the ball has the right to throw it or keep it. Then, if they throw it, it's a matter of who's willing to be petty enough and shallow enough to go searching for the ball.
And if you're the lucky chap who ends up with the ball in your hands at the end of the game and you decide to keep it, you immediately become the hot chick on the yacht, where all the oldest, richest guys come to you to get what you got. Watch disgusting Jason Kidd anxiously waiting for that ball.
By the way, side note, I wonder who the first person was to do this. I mean, there's variations on this in other sports. Baseball gloves, even out of sports with graduation caps. But somebody did it first.
There it is. It's over.
Also, who's the first person to stand on the scores table? So many celebratory traditions, and they all originated somewhere. Even if it's an inherent primal reaction to triumph and joy and completion, somebody did it first. Or maybe tossing the ball in the air after winning something would have just existed no matter what, in every civilization, on any timeline, in every continent, no matter the influence. Like the pyramids. Okay, so back to this ancient tradition. At a glance, we all agree Rodney here, Randy Brown, NBA champ Ron, let's call him Ron, should just back the off and give the ball to its rightful owner. But why? Why? What Rodney's trying to do here is a break from the script. It's a real-life clashing of reality and our show. You, as a bench
scrub role player are supposed to humbly and servantly hand over the ball to the real man on the team, just like Tony Kukoc was trying to do right here. Be a good boy and give Mr. Jordan your ball. But in this instance, this dude Randy, you're over here still playing defense. Pete's sake, what? Like, is this a steal attempt? Is this a block? What are you doing, Randy? But he knows nothing but his body and his experience. And when you think about that, in Randy's world, Randy is Michael Jordan. Randy had a pretty charmed, successful storyline himself. He's always been special, whether it's back at New Mexico State, personally recruited by the great Gar Forman, playing in the trend-setting Neil McCarthy era, becoming the only Aggie to ever be drafted into the NBA, or at home with his family in Chicago, where he grew up. This kid is a native son, born and raised in Chicago, schooled on the court and in the classroom in Chicago, minutes from old Chicago Stadium. Ron is bringing all of this to the table, to the court, to the moment. So why wouldn't he get the game ball? God damn it, he's Rodney Brown, the Chicago kid, high school basketball star, top recruit, second leading scorer in his first year at New Mexico State, taking his school to the top of the relative heap as Big West Conference co-champions, giving New Mexico State their very first NCAA tournament berth in 11 years. He even got a spot on Dick Vitale's coveted preseason all-pickpocket team. You go, Rodney. Then he was drafted 31st overall in 1991, amongst players like Larry Johnson and Dikembe Mutombo and Stacey Augmon, and honestly, a whole bunch of people who could not hack it in the NBA. And Randy over here, he ended up being only one of 7 players from that year's draft to play at least 12 seasons. And this day, fast forward to this day, he became an NBA champion, and he is inches away from the game ball. Listen, when Rodney goes home for the family reunion, he's a star. And don't let Rodney walk back into his local high school this summer, which is just 40 minutes away. Don't let Rodney walk into that assembly without a game ball. These old-ass teachers, they believed in him. They followed him. He's a hero in this town. So in the pinnacle of Ron's career, his championship moment, his moment, with damn near everyone he's ever known in the stand, he deserves that ball. But unfortunately, this sweaty-ass, overexposed ball hog who never even passes him the ball and is constantly forgetting Ron's name in practice wants it too. He wants Ron's ball. But you know what? At that moment, we don't even know. We don't know it's Ron's ball, because unfortunately, NBC never did a 7-minute pre-finals package about Ron's road to the finals.
When little children go out to play basketball these days,
if they did, we might all be on his side, but we don't. We don't know his story. We know this other guy's overtold story.
imagine what it's really like to be Michael Jordan.
The same old story about the same old guy who's vengeful as heck and hates his high school and talks down to other players and hits little guys in the face. We're supposed to love this guy, this gambling addict, spoiled diva. Doesn't he already have the world? Now why does he need Ron's ball too? Have you seen this guy's trophy room? He's one of those guys that might accidentally leave a statue in the car or forget it on the bus. Ron, on the other hand, he would probably fly to Mogadishu to have a rare man-ball fusion procedure where they would knit and solder the edges of the ball onto a special place onto his body. Or he may donate this ball to his high school, and it would become their cherished possession. This other guy, MJ, hell, he'd probably gamble it away on his plane. That's why he's fighting so hard for this right now. He's putting everything on the line for that ball. One of these guys wants this ball, and the other one needs it. I hope you see my point here. But that's not the end. Because we do have an answer. With Randy, we know what Randy would have done with the ball. In 2009, while MJ was contemplating becoming a billionaire, buying an NBA team, and telling everyone he ever knew how wrong they were and how they can go screw themselves at his Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
I wanted to make sure you understood you made a mistake, dude.
By the way, a ceremony where they give you more stuff. Our dear Randy was at the doorstep of rock bottom. While the financial industry collapsed and took the world down a few pegs, it affected a lot of regular folks, including Randy, who had to declare bankruptcy and was forced to sell his possessions, his prized possessions, just to survive, including selling his 3 championship rings. And you know, if he would have had that ball, if he would have been able to sell that ball, probably would have kept the lights on a little while longer. But luckily, by the grace of kindness and loyalty, and the fact that Randy was not a walking torch designed to burn bridges, luckily, his old assistant coach, Gar Forman,
from back in his New Mexico State days, was now the Bulls' general manager. And Randy found his way back home. And you know, maybe he didn't get the ball from MJ that day, but nearly 20 years later, he had something better. A home. Oh wait, that's not it. That's not it for Randy. There's more. Randy was so damn loyal that in 2017, it is widely suspected that he was at the center of a huge internal rift between players and management. And many players, including Jimmy Butler and the one-time Bull Rip Hamilton, suspected that this Randy Brown was a management plant, a mole. See, as this article says here, as the plot came to light, the implication was that Brown was acting as a spy for General Manager Gar Forman, his old buddy, helping the Bulls build cases against their players during contract negotiations, or even in the court of public opinion. So when it all crashed and burned, when Jimmy Butler left, when Dwayne Wade and Rondo talked crap about the Bulls locker room and the Bulls organization, this is all emanating from our friend, Randy Brown. Well, that's a twist. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave our story? I don't know. It's just all kinds of fucked up, isn't it?
But why? Why?
Maybe he didn't like what was going on in the locker room. Maybe it felt familiar. Maybe he wanted to make sure the next Randy Brown would finally get respect. And he decided to use his power to cut off anyone's legs who was beginning to resemble Michael Jordan.
And it's still not over, because I left out one pernicious little point. When Randy was down and out and giving up his possessions to maintain survival, you know who tried to capitalize on it? That's right, Michael effing Jordan. He's out here donating money to his old town, looking like a charity god. But back then, MJ reportedly, and is not denied, he tried to buy Randy's rings. And sure, you may think that's just a nice thing to do. For a billionaire bidding just a few $1,000s on championship rings he already has, this feels like classic Jordan behavior. You never let anyone forget who's on top. So, whose ball is it? Let me know in the comments. Is there more information on this Randy Brown situation? Of course, this was just my selective narrative, but regardless, let's decide once and for all who gets the ball. If you decide Jordan gets the ball, then we'll just do nothing. All will remain the same. But if we vote that Randy deserves the ball, I will send an authentic 1996 manufactured Spalding basketball to Randy Brown with a note explaining what the people have decided. Also telling him that I will work for the next 20 years to actually retrieve that ball, wherever it is. And finally, here, okay, I think it's time to move the base here. Let's see if we can jumpstart this growth instead of just waiting around for the algorithm to notice us. Please, each of the faithful 1,100 here, pick your favorite video and post that shit somewhere. And ask a friend to sub, just one. This is just a mini favor, so I can spend even more time making bigger, more in-depth content. It's shared to just one person, Facebook, Twitter, walk up to a neighbor and write on their hand a link. I mean, really, you'd be surprised how little it takes to get stuff trending. If 2,000 people, for example, retweeted one thing about the same time, it starts to snowball. So maybe we can just go to the link right there below in the description and just retweet that. I don't know. Maybe the campaign can be called Get Randy His Ball. I don't know. But each one of you folks who enjoy this, just give me 2 more clicks. And I promise to get more organized on how to direct folks here. But let's just try this one. And don't forget to vote whose ball is it. And if this works out, and we do get a little more traction, I believe it or flipping not, I have a giveaway. An amazing, never before done giveaway. Type of giveaway. Alright, whatever.